Hi beautifuls, it's Tan back here again today with another video on this Astrology Human Design Gene Keys channel on this beautiful summer day. I hope that you guys out there are enjoying the weather just as I am. So today I want to talk about Venus and the healthy feminine. And with regards to my intuitive understanding based on various different things in my life and astrology, what would the healthy feminine look like with regards to the archetype of Venus, and what would the unhealthy feminine look like then? And so in this video, I'm going to use the term she or her to talk about the healthy feminine. That does not, however, mean that if you are not biologically female or if you have other orientations, that you cannot watch this video, because we all have Venus in our charts and we all have a feminine part of us, as well as the masculine. And I'm probably going to follow up with a video on Mars and the healthy masculine at some point on my channel as well. Hopefully it's soon. But yes, so when we're talking about the healthy feminine, we are looking at, and in the gene keys, the most feminine gate and human design gate in the gene keys is gate and gene key number 2. It's called the feminine, the receptive, and the most yin archetype. So when we are talking about the healthy feminine, we talk about an archetype that has an ability and a potential to receive and to trust in receiving what should be coming her way, and in an ability to be flexible to her direction because of that trust in receiving something. The shadow of gene key 2 and gate 2 in human design gene keys is dislocation. The gift is orientation, and the city is unity. So we do talk about dislocation either being lost with regards to direction because of a lack of trust in the subtler forces of the universe and people, especially the masculine. Not having trust for the masculine. And this could also mean being stuck in one particular way of being or direction and not being flexible enough to change, so that you feel, or not trusting change, so that you're not having that ability to be more unified and having a direct orientation. So not adjusting your orientation to become more unified with the universe and the receptivity of the universe. And so when we do talk about now the other aspects of the feminine with regards to being the receptive and building trust there, this has to do with manifesting that in the real world through attraction. So attracting things into your life. So of course, with regards to Venus, we're going to see this attractive ability of the healthy feminine or the unhealthy feminine to attract the masculine qualities, masculine people, men, and love and relationships into the life of the healthy feminine, or the unhealthy feminine in this case. But that's coming from a sense of self-esteem. So the bottom line of trust and unity and orientation and Venus that we talk about here is self-esteem. And the other day I just had a talk with some of my girlfriends about self-esteem as well, and how that's something that a lot of us, the feminine in all of us, is really craving for a solid sense of self-esteem, but it's not something easy to achieve. So in an unhealthy self-esteem version of the unhealthy feminine, we're going to have somebody who is, with regards to her orientation and her lack of trust, doing something to attract others and situations in life that is built on what she does not want, rather than what she actually wants, and that makes her lost. So, to give you a more concrete example of this, if we look at, let's go with the basic attraction factor of the feminine. That is with regards to the way she dresses and the way that she looks and the way that she presents herself with regards to her sexuality and femininity to attract something to her life. So An unhealthy feminine is not aware of this motivation that she's wanting to attract something into her life because she's running away from something else, or she's trying to attract something into her life because of a need to not want something else. She doesn't understand, or she doesn't realize that this is the motivation here. So she's kind of asleep in her awareness of this aspect, we can say. So therefore, when we look at, for example, a feminine who wears a lot of makeup or who dresses in an overt way to show various different parts of her body, her leg or her cleavage, or sometimes it's going to be, you know, the belly or the buttocks, for example, because she thinks that if she doesn't do that, she wouldn't be beautiful. See, she's running away from something. She's doing something because she does not want something. So she may be wearing a lot of makeup or dressing in a very tight-fitting clothes that's not really comfortable for her, and intuitively she doesn't really feel up for it, and she doesn't really like to do that very much. But she's doing it because she does not want to appear not beautiful. She does not want to seem like a woman who's not sexy. She does not want to be without a man or the attention of the masculine principles coming into her life, whether that masculine principle is a man or whether that is another woman. So that is what I'm talking about here. So I remember like going on a hiking trip with a friend. I'm not sure if we're not very much in contact right now, but at that point we were doing it together. And it was a hike up a mountain into a forest. And she decided that day to wear shorts, like really short shorts that were very tight. And she also was wearing a very tight shirt, so everything was really tight and probably very uncomfortable, and I could tell that she was pulling, you know, her pants and pulling her shirt on most of the hike. And then there were hike up a forest, so we got plants and various different grass that was, you know, kind of scraping and kind of brushing against her leg as we're hiking. And I was thinking to myself, why are you wearing this? This is not something to hike. But we were taking lots of photos for Instagram on that hike, and we had other companies, tour guides and other people on the trip that were there, men and women. And so this is an example of, I can say here that she did not want to appear, we can say, like, there's this almost this stereotypical, or even sometimes a slight judgment here, not to say it's good or bad, but a slight judgment here that if you're wearing clothes that are not showing your curves or that are not revealing enough, then you would appear a little bit geeky, or you're not trendy and not attractive, even though the circumstances at that moment doesn't really allow you to dress in such a way. But because there's a lower sense of self-esteem there, that even in that moment she had to still appear, even though it's not to her comfort, in a way that not to not be seen as those various different things that I mentioned. We can also see the case of a woman who's the opposite, or a feminine, you know, way of attracting that is the opposite, meaning that she doesn't trust in her ability to attract at all, even if that means attracting the love of Mother Earth, where she, even though she really wants to, you know, be naked in that waterfall, or she really wants to just lie on the beach and, you know, wear nothing because she wants to absorb the light of the sun, but she still doesn't do it, so she still covers up because she does not want. So there's still motivation of not wanting. She does not want to appear immodest. She does not want to go against her family's idea of who she is, or she does not want this and does not want that. So the motivation is still to run away from something, and it's still coming from a distrust. So I hope that's kind of making sense. And so this is not to say that this is good or bad, and that if you have a low sense of self-esteem that something is wrong with you. No, because we all are working through this. The feminine is something that we are all incorporating into our society, into our psyche, into our emotions, into the way that we navigate life. But it's the awareness that this may be an underlying factor behind various different things in your life is key, is the idea here. Not to say that you have to change that or that you have to go to see therapy to improve your sense of self-esteem. No, but it's to be aware, to accept that this is your journey, to love yourself more. To love yourself more and to see that there's something to be loved about yourself even when you don't have to try so hard. So, but of course, if let's say you are in a situation, you're in nature and you're feeling free and you don't want to wear anything, you want to swim in the waterfall in the lake and you don't want to wear anything because you want to just be totally absorbed in touching Mother Earth herself. That's a different story. That is, you're doing something because you want to do it and you are not running away from something else. And you're not doing it because you don't want something else. You trust. There's trust built in there, whereas in the first scenario, there was no trust. I'm feeling very passionate about this topic and I hope it's kind of making sense for you guys a little bit. And another example of the healthy versus unhealthy feminine is with regards to relationships. And we see this all the time, and they're usually linked. The way that a woman uses the body, or the feminine uses the body to attract, and her choice of partnerships, relationships of all kinds, especially the choice of the men in the life of that feminine, however you want to term feminine and the men, or the masculine, they're gonna be parallel to each other. And yes, when it comes to relationships, we see this as either a feminine part of you that doesn't trust the masculine and is not flexible to trusting or opening up trust to the masculine to penetrate into your feminine. So this really looks like, a feminine, whether this is biologically man or woman, that is in a relationship that is not good for her. There's abuse going on. There's a controlling masculine figure in that relationship, or the masculine polarities of the relationship is controlling or manipulative or abusive or missing or absent, and yet she knows that this is not the right relationship for her, but she doesn't trust that she has an ability to attract other men or masculine factors with other people into her life. That is stemming from a lower self-esteem, a lack of self-love. She is not flexible to orientate herself to other people, like basically getting out of that relationship and trusting that there's going to be other people coming into her life because of a low sense of self-esteem. This could also look like a feminine that doesn't trust in the masculine enough to be in a relationship with a masculine in a state of vulnerability, deep trust, and long-lasting intimacy. So a feminine who is seen as very independent and hasn't really formed any relationships in her life, doesn't really have long-lasting relationships in her life, sexual relationships. That's also stemming from a lack of trust if the underlying motivation there is coming from something that you don't want. So a dislocation from something that you don't want. You don't want to be heartbroken. You don't want to lose your sense of identity. You don't want to subconsciously allow another person to hurt you. And so you never allow yourself to form that trusting, long-lasting relationship or a deep enough relationship with the masculine principle or the masculine in another. Whereas the healthy feminine is one that enters into a relationship of all types because she wants to. And she stays because she wants to. And she doesn't stay if it's not right for her. And she orientates herself to nature, to other people, to other sexual relating, to other things in her life that feels right for her, that she wants. She receives that trust and follows that trust and that faith. Meaning that if a relationship is abusive or is controlling for that healthy feminine, her sense of self-esteem is so solid. She says, I don't need this. I may still love you. I have compassion for you. But I have better things to do in my life, and I trust that I can find better relationships, better way of using my energy and my time. So we can be friends, or maybe I don't want to get in touch with you anymore and I gotta go. She's flexible to orientate herself in that way. It also means that even though she may love being alone and being an independent woman, but when she finds somebody that she wants to be with, she's open to sharing of intimacy and sexuality and vulnerability and showing her darker sides, and even receiving that from the other in a space of love and compassion. And that is the orientation that she chooses because she wants it. So I hope that this video is kind of making sense, guys, and let me know in the comments below how you feel about the healthy feminine. If you have anything else that you feel you want to share about this topic with regards to Venus or Gene Key number 2 or Human Design Gate 2, then feel free to leave them in the comments below. I am open to receiving and trusting of all of your opinions and your intuitive downloads, your passions, and anything else that you want to share. Totally open to receiving that. So that's it for today, beautiful souls. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up as well. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button below. And you can also visit my website if you're interested in readings from me. The website link is also going to be in the description box below. And have a beautiful day, beautiful souls. Bye.